like home. I'll get that 20 note to you later. You can't beat that introduction, huh? You know, I want to mention something, because Ramon and many of the folks active in the Democratic Party are veterans. And in the last decade, we've seen a real contrast in terms of lip service versus results when it comes to our veterans. And one of the things I'm most proud of, over the last 4 years in fact, the two that I've served in the United States House and the 2 previous years, has been how the Congress has changed its approach to veterans issues, has stopped with the lip service and really delivered on some things like advanced funding for the VA, paying our troops more, not making people jump through 1,000 hoops before they get treated for their PTSD. These things matter. We owe these folks for their service to our country. And I want to thank all of the veterans who are here today. If you would, please raise your hands. Thank you for your service. We have a lot at stake in this election. And if you've been listening to some of the national folks talk in the last few days, you've probably started to hear some pundits say that we could see the House change hands in this election cycle. And I'm here to tell you, together, we're going to make sure that this seat remains Democratic. Yeah. But I want you all to know what it would mean if we lost the House of Representatives. If a man named John Boehner was Speaker John Boehner. Some of you may have caught the interview with him a few weeks ago where he said, yeah, you know, we really have got to change the Social Security retirement age from 65 to 70. It's not a big surprise from somebody who's worked with Paul Ryan, who would probably be the budget chair in charge of the budget going forward if he were Speaker, because they've said numerous times that they want to privatize Social Security. Now, they tried that under the Bush administration and we stopped them. They will try it again if they run the United States House of Representatives, and I'm counting on all of you to help me make sure that never happens. Yeah. They said we need to get rid of Medicare and change it over to a voucher system. Good luck with how well that's going to work. And these are the same folks, including my opponent, who's called for the repeal of the health care bill. Now, I can tell you, if there are pieces in that legislation that don't work, we should change them. We should fix them. But I'm not going to let huge steps forward, like telling the insurance companies that they have to give people with diabetes or a heart condition or young people growing up with all kinds of congenital defects that they get insurance too. Right. They can't turn those folks away, and we shouldn't go back. We're not going to let them put the donut hole back in Medicare Part D. Right. Yeah. So if we need to fix some things, we should fix them. But this extreme attitude of repeal it all and put the insurance companies back in charge of the lives of New Mexicans is wrong. It's wrong for this state, and we will not stand for it. And we have finally seen action on one of the greatest issues that put us in the recession in the first place. We've seen the most comprehensive Wall Street reform legislation since Glass-Steagall. And before the president has even had a chance to sign it, they're calling for repeal. Because we know how well the Wall Street banks managed our economy the first time, right? So we should put them back in charge, and we should hand our Social Security over to them. That doesn't make sense to me. But those will be the kind of consequences that we will see if we fail to hang on to the House of Representatives. So I'm counting on you to help us make sure that doesn't happen. We need to protect Harry Teaksey in the South. Yeah. We need to protect Ben Ray Ruhan's seat in the North. And we need to make sure that Albuquerque and Central New Mexico continue to have good representation that speaks to the values of our people. We have a lot of work left to do. We have a broken immigration system, and we all know that Arizona is not the answer to that. We need to reform our immigration system at a comprehensive level, at the federal level, in a way that is tough but also fair and respectful and doesn't create a situation where we have racial profiling in any state in the United States. That will never happen if John Boehner is Speaker of the United States House. We need an energy policy that moves our country forward, that gives the jobs of tomorrow to our kids, so that when Micah grows up, when my 3-year-old grows up, if he wants to stay in New Mexico, he will have a bright future. And whether that's working on wind or solar or high tech, we need to make sure those jobs are available.
That's right.
And we have seen them stymie clean energy legislation over and over and over again. We need to continue to fight for that. We need to get it through the Senate, and we need to get it to the President's desk. None of that will happen if we lose the House of Representatives. So we have a lot of work left to do. And we have a great group of folks running for our statewide elected offices. From governor to treasurer to lieutenant governor, we have some of the best candidates around. And we have some of the best congressional candidates. But if we don't turn out our friends, if we don't turn out our neighbors, if we don't show up on election day, we will be ceding the future of our nation to some very extreme points of view. So I need your help. And I need you to volunteer on our campaign. I need you to come over and write down your name and your number and let us call you. And if you're not volunteering on my campaign, I hope you're volunteering on James Lewis's campaign. I hope you're volunteering on Diane's campaign or Brian's campaign or Hector Banderas or Marietta. We need to make sure that we have the foot soldiers to work together to get this done this year. Ray Powell. I mean, we just have some fantastic candidates with real integrity. But this is a tough year. We have a tough economy. Everyone's suffering. And when the economy goes south, there are consequences for anybody who's holding office. We're going to have to fight that this year. But when somebody drives your car into the ditch, you don't hand them the keys back and ask them to get you out. And you don't let them put the transmission in R, you put it in D, take the keys away from them, and drive it out of the ditch. That's what we're going to do. Thank you so much. And please volunteer for Democrats this fall.